My friends, let's do another beginner lesson today. I'm joined once again by my wonderful wife, Nata.
Hi guys!
And one of you awesome people on Patreon challenged me to teach her sweep picking in just 10 minutes. Let's do a sweep picking beginner lesson. Since I'm a little bit sick today, maybe you can do the talking. What's sweep picking?
With sweep picking, you just glide down and up like this.
Okay.
So you're not actually picking the strings, but you're more like letting your pick fall like
Nice.
this.
Okay. So that's the end of the lesson. You can find all the files on Patreon. Make sure to subscribe. No. Okay. So last time we looked at alternate picking, which means strictly picking down and up. And with sweep picking, we want to do something like this. So as you described, our goal is not individually picking every single string like this. We want a gliding, smooth picking motion, simply like you're strumming a chord. We're also not thinking about every single string. But the big problem is the fretting hand, because you don't want those notes to overlap. You want to separate them nicely, right?
Right.
I will show you the 5 exercises I wish I started out with. Here's number 1. So what you saw right here is a chord shape that sounds complicated, but it's actually quite easy to memorize. This is a very popular voicing for a C major 7th chord or arpeggio. Nice!
Yeah.
That's the chord voicing. And as you could see with the exercise, the first half is the easy part. I think you're gonna nail this one right away. You will just let gravity do pretty much all the work. You will not pick every single note like aggressive downstrokes. Your pick is simply falling like this. You don't want to think about picking every single string. It's just a relaxed gliding movement. Okay, it sounded pretty good right away, but I could still see that you're kind of attacking the strings a little bit.
Okay.
Nice!
Yeah.
The second half of this exercise is gonna be a bit frustrating, and I don't expect you to nail this one right away. I want you to focus on doing the exact same thing you just did with your picking hand, but you want to isolate every single note like this. So no more overlapping.
Okay.
Let's see how that sounds like when you do that for the first time ever. That's pretty hard, right?
Very hard.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's gonna be some string noise when you try this for the first time. It will feel quite awkward because you really
It's
have
very
that
awkward.
instinct to
Right.
just do this. The reason why I really recommend working on it is because the first half is actually quite easy. And you really feel how that sweep picking motion should sound and actually feel like at faster tempos. And then you can directly compare it to your current sweep picking motion, which is gonna suck at first. But this is a great way of starting out. Now let's move to exercise number 2. Maybe you can already guess what it is. Let's check it out. Alright, for the second one, we obviously want to turn it around. And this is where things get much harder, because now gravity is kind of working against us. The first half, I think you got this one right away. It's just doing what you did, but in the other direction with upstrokes. Nice. It was pretty good right away. I don't want to go too deep into technique since this is your first time sweep picking. Just a couple of quick things I can think of that might help. Number 1, it's always important, at least for me, to place my palm on the bridge, so I never want to be completely disconnected, because I also want to mute sometimes when I'm sweep picking. And the second thing that might cause you some trouble is that you were performing kind of an arching movement like this. And when I'm sweeping, I want to make sure that the angle is always the same for the string. So my wrist is still in touch with the bridge like this, but I'm kind of moving my hand up and down so that I make sure that the angle of the pick and the technique isn't changing.
Okay.
So I'm not anchoring it like this and moving like that.
Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, I'm starting to look much better already. Nice, this is pretty good.
But you don't lift it.
Yeah, I
I did.
I don't do any crazy movements like this. Now, just to frustrate you, let's see how that sounds like when you try to isolate every single note. So this is the second half of the exercise. It's actually much better than I expected. By the way, my friends, if you finally want to sweep like the pros, maybe more like me, you can download all of these exercises on patreon.com/Bernd with the link down below in the description and in the first comment. Aside from these beginner exercises, all my Patreon members also get access to my 30-day sweep picking course. Did you know that?
Yes, I know.
Did you do that course?
Of course not.
Not yet.
This is my first sweep picking attempt.
After this lesson, you can attempt the course because it actually starts with beginner exercises. It's not that hard, and it comes with a 30-day practice plan that tells you exactly what to do step by step. After 30 days, you will take it from the fundamentals, just like what you demonstrated, to intermediate and even some kind of professional sounding exercises that are not too hard and frustrating, I promise. So join today with the link down below, patreon.com/Bernd, to get access to all of today's beginner exercises, the play along videos, tabs, guitar profiles, backing tracks, all the good stuff, and also get access to my full 30-day sweep picking course that will take you from a beginner to an intermediate sweeper in just 30 days, guaranteed. I promise this actually works. But now let's move to exercise number 3. Okay, so as you could see, we are introducing 2 more special ingredients when it comes to sweep picking that you will see all the time with arpeggios, hammer-ons and
pull-offs.
Yeah, exactly. So we're moving to another very common sweep picking arpeggio shape. We're sweeping A minor right now. And for the first part of the exercise, you're starting with a pull-off right away from E with your pinky finger to C with your index finger. So that's a bit of a stretch. Ah, there it is. You want to make sure to do this with an upstroke for this exercise because the next notes are going to be sweeped on those next strings. So it looks like this. Nice! You did it! I know it takes a while to memorize the notes and the pattern. And for the second half of this exercise, just gonna turn it around again, which I think is the easier way of doing it. You will play downstrokes, and then you will perform a hammer-on for those last 2 notes.
Oh, okay.
Don't stress out. Yeah.
This is very shy.
Shy hammer-on. Yeah, let's leave it at that for now. What I like is that you get the direction of the picking right, but you're suffering from what 99% of guitar players are suffering from, that start with sweep picking. You're still picking the individual strings quite a lot, so it's not a fluid movement because you're thinking about where to put your fingers. You never played these arpeggios so far. So when you're practicing, it would be great if you could film yourself or put a mirror in front of you so that you can also see what your picking hand is doing. And of course, as soon as you memorize the arpeggios, you will get much, much better at that. But I want to push you even further. Yeah. Let's see what exercise number 4 is all about. Okay, so when you're sweep picking, you don't just want to play one arpeggio all the time, down and up and down and up. It's kind of one of the boring cliches. With this exercise, you learn to slowly switch between arpeggios. So I was playing... I think you're familiar with that already, right? But after that...
Okay.
It's kind of the start of a new arpeggio, and to connect them nicely, I don't want to perform any jerky movements on the neck. I'm simply sliding down to D on the 7th fret on the G string, so I'm not picking. Let's try that out. Nice.
Get in there.
Yes, but that was already pretty good because you got a nice slide and you didn't attack that note twice. And then the last step would just be turning around the sweep picking direction. So only upstrokes. And then one downstroke here on the 8th fret on the B string. That would be the entire exercise. So not bad, actually. So this way of connecting arpeggios with slides is really cool as soon as you play faster. So it allows me to kind of glide or slide into every single arpeggio, sound super fluid and nice and not like... Let's take it one step beyond. I didn't think that we would tackle this exercise because it's a little bit difficult, but I really want to see you play it. Here's number 5. Okay, so there's actually not that much new information with this exercise. It's just really tricky to play it because it's an actual lick already, I would say. So this is something you could use in your next song if you want to. So now we're actually finishing this whole line. And the tricky thing right here is, and why it's such a great exercise, you have to work on both directions of sweep picking. So you're starting out with upstrokes only, then you're performing the slide, and then you're switching to downstrokes. And you're also switching between 2 different arpeggios. So I'll play it again for you slowly. It's starting with that pull-off. Upstrokes exclusively up until this point, then slide, and then
Downstrokes.
2 downstrokes. And you want to make sure to sweep those. So
Yep.
not like this.
Oh, okay.
Let's see that.
I picked those too.
Nice. So I'm actually super impressed, to be honest, and also quite sick.
Or emotional about my sweep picking.
Yeah, I'm about to start to cry. So what you're doing right here is actually what I would consider an intermediate exercise. So this is definitely not something you start out with when you're sweep picking. You would maybe just stick to the first or second exercise for a couple of weeks. But you're already doing pretty great, I have to say, with this one.
Thank you.
Of course, you have unwanted string noise. You can hear that. That's the most important thing. A lot of people can't hear that. You have a lot of movement with your fretting hand. You want to make sure to minimize it. And you're still attacking the strings individually quite often because you still think about what notes you actually have to play and all that. I think in, I don't know, maybe in a week you will be able to do this quite effortlessly because the foundation is there already, and I'm really impressed.
Thank you for the lesson. I will go and do that 30-day course.
Really? You will?
Yeah.
Where do you find that?
On patreon.com/Bernd.
Wow, nice. I also have to join over there.
You also have to join?
Yeah, I'm not a member. I just upload my stuff there. So once again, my friends, if you're a beginner, download all the files of this lesson on patreon.com/Bernd with the link down below. You get the tabs, video play along files, backing tracks, guitar profiles, all of that good stuff. And of course, as soon as you join, you also get access to the full 30-day sweep picking course that Nata is going to do next. So if you finally want to learn how to sweep, this is your calling. Get rid of this frustration once and for all. I promise it's not that hard once you find the right exercises. Join on Patreon today with the link down below. I will see you in the next video. Greetings from me and Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.